Yeah. Um. Sorry about that. The brother had a little bit of trouble over on his end. The computer didn't do exactly what he wanted it to do, but he getting ready to come back in, and then we can get this on. Cause things happen, boy. I gotta tell you something real funny that happened just at 10:24. Like, it's crazy how things happen. Hopefully everybody won't get tired of coming in, and we can get this on, because this brother got some information to drop, man. He got some information to drop. And going to see what happens. Let me see. Is that you? I'm not sure what your birth name is. So if that's you, you got to make a comment, and then yeah. So there you go. They say adding, so it should be connected in a couple seconds. Yeah, say adding. I hit the comment. It says adding, so you should be coming on. Let me try it again. Let me hit the what's the name thing that. All right, it say adding. It just keeps saying adding. I gotta hurry up and get some. Hmm. Yeah. It's in the refrigerator. Let me try it again. Okay. It says adding. You inside? Or you outside?
Okay,
Look like
awesome. There we
all
go.
right, there we go.
Sorry for the complications, my brother.
No, no problem.
Yeah, I was outside, and then I had to end up having to come in my room. I don't know why all this is happening. I'm like, I really want to get this information out.
You won't believe this, man. I'm using my phone, right? The because I got two
Hmm.
phones. One I stream with, and the other one is for like if people want to call in, make a comment or something like that. The phone that I was streaming
Yeah.
with died at 10:24. It just died. And then
Dang.
I'm looking at the charger, and I'm like, the charger must not be compatible because it just went down to zero. It was climbing at first, and then it just hit zero, and I'm like, I don't believe this. This is crazy. And then once I put my phone
Man,
in there, I
always
could.
some paranormal shit going on. It always be some interesting shit going on with like
Yeah. And then,
just with my friends. Any time I want to give like a download, it just stuff go haywire before I can even give out the information.
And then once I got my phone on, I lost my hat. I couldn't find my hat. I was like, "Where's my hat?" But anyway, man. Anyway, I'm glad to have you. You know, for those of you looking on, I met this brother in the chat room, and he was just mowing down. I mean, it's like wasn't nobody even trying to touch him, man. And
Yeah.
these hypercubes, and I'm like, man, what the hell going on here? I got to find out about this. But anyway, let's get this thing on. I want to ask you the one question I always ask everybody before we start.
Mhm.
What, like, when did you wake up, or what you woke up one day and you just was like, what made you wake up one day and just decide that you had this information or you knew what was going on? Like how'd you come into this?
Well, my experiences started very young. I was always gifted. So as I came to get older, I started getting into, I was really like into the Bible. That's how you see me banging out everybody with the Bible because I was a youth pastor.
Oh,
So, but my position in the church, because my gift was that I was able to prophesy. So they used to call me a prophet in the church. So I always had like these mystical experiences and these spiritual experiences. So I guess if you want the story of how I like came to waking up, so I started like I started getting on my journey. I've always like been super into information, like, and at the age of 14, what got me into what got me into this stuff is when I was in church. I wasn't aware of what it was called at the time. It was called astral projection.
okay.
So I got this task, I guess, and I actually had the pleasure of taking a trip to hell or the lower realms. So it kind of went on from there throughout the years, and then I had this experience where I started just getting into everything that I can get into, try to learn information, and a lot of it started with ENOCH. So I had this experience one time where I'm starting to get into meditation. I was sitting in my room and I'm meditating, and I just remember seeing flashes of just images of different memories and stuff.
Mm.
And that's when this being I noticed was in my room. So it was a serpent being in my room, and I couldn't understand what it was. So that kind of propelled me to go on the quest to figure out who I was. So along the path, I found out who I was and what I was connected to, which was the reptilians or draconians or the Anunnaki or whatever they want to call it. And that kind of just started me on my path. And then I started getting into shamanic journeying, soul travel. I'm a shaman in my actual life. I actually take people on shamanic journeys, but my journeys are a little different. So when I do information, I'm actually doing a extraterrestrial past life regression. So when I take people on trips, I'm taking them literally, guiding them through their memory, which is essentially in their DNA, and I'm helping them unravel that. That way they can access their DNA and their higher senses.
Yeah.
Because we're all starseeds. A little bit about the message I wanted to get into,
Right.
when we were doing stuff. But yeah, I just had a lot of experiences. I found out what dimension I was from. I found out what star system I was from. I found out a lot about myself, and I also found a lot about others. So I just felt like I wanted to find more people in my soul group, and I felt that I was here to not just be a master student, but also be a master teacher.
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember, I mean, I used to, but back when I was the Christian, I was waiting for Jesus to come back and everything like that. I thought people was lost their mind when they said things like that. But then I thought back and I remembered, I told my mom and just a couple other people, and probably like a lot of people know now because I don't say it on here. I remember a place I was before I was born. And next thing, it was like a pillar by the art. You might not know the art museum over here in Philly. It's like pillars on the temple. It had greenery. It had a green bush, and I remember this just like I'm looking at this phone right now. And next thing I know, it was like a grayness. And it looked like I was going like down or moving or something like that. And next thing you know, I was looking in this white doctor's face and I was actually being born. And I was telling my mom this, and she was like, with her mouth wide open.
Yeah.
And so, I don't could knock nobody with saying whatever they got to say, because people think that I lost my mind. But anyway, man, the message you got to bring is powerful. I know it's gonna be good. So you got the floor.
All right. So let me see where I'm gonna try to set up in my room because I got my desk and stuff outside. I'm usually always in the nature. So let me go ahead and go in here. I hope you guys don't mind if I read. I had to write this down because I'm pulling a lot of information together. So
Okay.
the Earth as we know it, the Matrix, the third dimension, a simulation, a hologram. Our minds are programmed to believe is real. The major question: is it round or is it flat? It is all. The holographic universe. Some scientific facts. Outside this reality or dimension, space and time are not defined. From our perception, the holographic universe we are in can be tested by peering back in time at the furthest reaches of our observable universe. Quantum gravity. The holographic principle says that gravity comes from thin vibrating strings, which are all holograms of a 2D microverse. They found that the simplest quantum field theories could explain early observations of the universe. E equals mc squared. E equals mc squared is energy plus matter to the second degree. How we believe or perceive this dimension or reality is with our two-dimensional eyes. These two. Relativistic mass depends on motion of the object so that the different observers in relative motion see different values or perspectives of it. The speed of light is equated to 1. If measured to natural units, mass or density is what makes it appear round. You are inside a space container. Even photons or light quota is trapped. If trapped as photon gas or thermal radiation will contribute mass or associated with the energy to the container. Trapped energy in any forms adds weighable mass. Where matter is destroyed, leaves behind energy associated with it, which is non-matter form. Matter may appear and disappear in various reactions. This is the 3D macrocosm versus the 2D microcosm.
I don't want to cut you off, but you kind of shaking like off the screen. I don't know.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to keep it still because I don't have nothing to keep the phone still.
Oh, you can't lean it up, probably lean it up against something. Oh no.
Let me see.
I got mine on a tripod. Yeah.
Huh?
I got mine on a tripod.
Yeah, I don't have one. I think mine's broke. Did you hear a little bit of what I said?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, consciousness is the all, and the all must be consciousness or conscious. Consciousness brought forth the physical and manifests by way of the sacred geometry. This is the order out of chaos. The sacred cubes of reality were formed. Thus we, the Patal, the Anunnaki, or the Jedi, are the gatekeepers of the all. The all is, that is, the sacred cube. We are star children. We are keepers of the universe. I am Master Key, and I have come to teach you a lesson. By way of a sacred parable, I will teach you that we are indeed in a hologram. This is the matrix. In order to know what I am about to say is true, you must start your journey beyond the stars, beyond the dimensions, and beyond this reality. I come by way of series to give you this parable, so that in order for you to understand, so that you may decode this information for yourself within yourself. To understand the cubes in Metatron, you must understand Enoch's ascension and who Enoch was. So we must go into the fragments of this ancient celestial map inside the Quran and the Bible, which are nothing more but a map of the stars and the beings that come from there.
Okay.
So we're gonna go a little bit into Enoch. Try to find mine. So where is the verse? I'm gonna find it's a verse right here. So Enoch was a star child. We're technically all star children, but I want to deal with this particular one because he inherited this matrix. He's the keeper of these two realities.
Okay.
So if you look into the word Kabbalah, it means the sacred cube that is for him. Kaaba meaning the sacred cube, and Allah meaning for him. The cube was for Enoch. Also, Kaaba means the God's house, which I'll get into later, because when you're dealing with the astral plane, this is where another perspective of it comes in. Is usually when you're trying to trap something, you use a cube. So if we're in a cube, and the cube in the universe is used to trap something, then where are we really? So the Kabbalah is a received tradition. Enoch received the cube. Sacred geometry is what unlocks the multidimensional universe. Metatron's cube is composed of 13 circles. There are 13 dimensions within our matrix. So here's a verse in the book of Enoch that's telling you that he wasn't human. And also there's a verse that says, I was trying to find it.
And somebody told me about the book of Enoch the other day, but that's one of the books that I don't have. I think I better stop talking. Seems like it throws things off.
Huh?
Seems like when I start talking, it throws things off. I'm not sure, but it may be because it's that way.
Just give you 1 second. I want to pull this scripture up. Well, I'm gonna just go off the top of the head because I really don't want to waste too much time. So, essentially, anybody that's read the scripture knows that Enoch walked with God, and he was because God took him. It also mentions in Job that can you bind the sweet influences of the Pleiades in the bands of Orion? Now, these are concordance to a specific location, or thus the throne of what they call God. But this is actually dealing with a particular beings that had to do with Enoch, because Enoch was one of them. So I want to also go back to a little bit of the science of it. Entropy is popularized and described by a measure of disorder inside a physical system of matter and energy. So remember, we're talking about the cubes, chaos, disorder. The cubes contain the chaos of the order out of the chaos.
Okay.
So, yeah. So Enoch in the 7. Enoch was the 7th. It's also largely encoded with a lot of numbers, because if you look at the movie The Matrix, when they show you the green screen, all you see actually is numbers. So this is Enoch in his sacred number 7. Enoch was the 7th patriarch, as in the 7 spheres within the cube. In numerology, 7 is man plus the universe. There's 7 days creation. There's 7 stars in the Pleiades. There's 7 gates of hell, 7 gates of heaven, and 7 visible colors of light, and 7 circles in the seed of life. And 4 in a 4D shape is also called a tesseract, which I'll get into in another video, hopefully. This is the genesis of all forms. 7 refers to the 7 divisions of heavens, or the 7 earths inside of the Pleiades system. In ancient Sumerian, the word Enki is in incantations and makes reference to the 7 heavens or the 7 realms of the Pleiades. Shamash, who, if anybody knows about the Pleiadian agenda right now, is Ashtar Command.
Yeah, right.
Or,
I heard about that.
Yeah, he is Ninurta. Now this goes back to the Anunnaki thing, but I want to do separate videos on that. I just really want to focus on giving out this key right here. So the hymn is, "Who can go up to heaven, my friend? And only the gods dwell amongst Shamash forever." They are in the Quran as the first part of heaven, and beyond that, they said there are 6 bigger worlds. The Lot tree marks the end of the 7th heaven, or the 7th dimension. Allegedly, the Garden of Eden was in the 7th heaven. In the 2nd book of Enoch, he travels to the 7th heavens to meet his Lord. There are 8,480. I'm not going to get into the hell thing, but in Sumerian doctrine, Inanna had to pass through 7 gates to get to the underworld. And key 106 tells us that the Pleiades is the cradle of our consciousness, and Pleiades is the throne of God, and Orion is the gateway center. Now, can you blind the cluster of the Pleiades or loosen the band of Orion? It says, seek him that makes the 7 stars in Orion. Now, exactly where was Enoch taken? The Bible is encoded with his exact concordance. It's in the Pleiades. Now you say, no, these are angels, or what humans perceive multidimensional beings as. The word angel, or Angal, is encoded as well. An means the heavens, and in ancient Sumerian, Gal means big, great big, or big man. Or as you can simply put it as encoded, big heavens. These gods were embodied celestial beings within bodies. Gal is placed at the end of the Anunnaki names, such as Areshka Gal, Nergal Gal. Now this is for the Pleiadian star seed. Gal is the key to unlocking Pleiadian star seed RNA. The structure of the Gal system within your RNA or DNA is 1, 2, and 7. The Gal system is eukaryotes exposed and promote sequences by altering nucleon density or positions. It breaks down the galactose into glucose. All right, where's the rest of this? And now we're going to get into the esoteric of it.
Okay.
Who is Metatron? Who is Enoch? Enoch walked with the gods and was found not because the gods took him. Genesis 21:24. Who are these particular gods? Oh, I think I already got these. Did I? No, who are these particular gods, you might ask? These are the Pleiadians, the 2 pillars. The sacred story of Enoch is passed through masonry, or mastari, or where mystery comes from, in the Royal Arch degree, in the 13th degree, called the Royal Arc of Enoch. As a master of the ninth arc, in the astral projection or vision he had with the help of his son, that they excavated the compartments or chambers inside the earth. Notice it says inside the earth.
Yeah.
So in Canaan, one below the other, in the lowest or the ninth placed a cube of the symbol.
Yeah, it uh it went out for like 2 seconds. You said you pulling up a symbol. So it froze. He's coming all the way from California. Oh Lord have mercy. He's coming all the way from California. So I guess the connection is kind of is not as good as we want to.
All right, sorry about that. Internet.
Yeah.
All right, so this is where is that? The Pleiadian symbol. Well, first off, I can actually pull up a picture of what a real Pleiadian looks like.
That's like a badge, isn't it?
Let's see.
It's like a badge that
Huh?
some of the troopers wear.
Yeah, and you also often see them with their left hand up like this,
Yeah.
and there's a star in the middle.
Yeah.
That's let me see. I'll pull up the picture of Ashtar.
The Astar Command.
Yeah, Ashtar Command. See, they're the deceivers of this thing. Because it says, can you bind the Pleiades? Now, if you go into the Sumerian doctrine, you find out about Tartarus and stuff like that, and how these were where the Titans were chained to.
Okay.
So here goes a picture of this person.
Yeah. Yeah, the white boy with the long
So
hair.
that's kind of what Enoch would look like, except for this. Here's an accurate picture. Where's one right here?
I heard somebody say that he would be more like black.
There was two Enochs, because remember, Cain had a son named Enoch. Yeah, I definitely want to get a little bit more into this, but I really want to kind of touch lightly on it. That way I can see if people are actually interested in getting like the actual keys or actually learning how to access these dimensions and how to unlock this DNA, because I had to go through a lot of different travels to get this information to give to people. So I want to make sure people are interested. You know, you got to put the experience in. So at the end of this, I want to give everyone one key and on how to access a particular dimension. And I also would love for them to actually try to travel to this place within themselves. You know, they have to go through the different chakra sets to get to different places. So this is something a little bit of like what Enoch would look like.
Enoch?
Something that's not him, but that's kind of what they were kind of describing him to look like. See the red eyes.
Maybe to put that little bit.
His eyes. Huh?
Maybe to put that a little bit closer.
Okay. Well, yeah, let me read this real quick just before I show you the image again. His eyes are as bright as the rays of the sun. His countenance glorious, and he looks not as if he belongs to me, but of the angels. His eyes are as bright as the sun. Now, I'm going to try to get that as close as I can.
Yeah, you see the red eyes. It looks like from here, it looks like a white woman. It looks like a white
pretty much what they look like. Now, this is how they're able to blend in so well with us, because they look like an average white person.
Somebody just sent the mad face up.
Hold on. What'd you say?
Somebody just sent up the mad face.
Hello?
Huh?
Okay, yeah.
This connection.
So that's kind of what I was trying. Um, where was I at? The 13th degree is called the Royal Ark of Enoch, or the Master of the Ninth Art. Oh yeah, I went to that part. So,
Yeah, 'cause when you put the face up there,
yeah.
somebody sent up the mad face emoji. Looked like they wasn't pleased, like a white person. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, to be honest, this affirmation is for them so that they can unlock their soul matrix so that they can try to ascend. Because when I'm dealing with my people, my melanated people, or my people who are hybrids of the dragon, we're different with a different chakra set. We're different with a higher DNA structure. So they're using the seven strands or the seven basic chakras because they don't have access to that. Because what happened was in the spiritual warfare, they put a lock on our chakras and we put a lock on theirs.
Hmm.
So in order for us to help them, they got to help us.
Hmm. Hmm. All right. Well, you go ahead
So essentially, when it comes um, to them, I'm trying to see. I know I had some more information around here. I just didn't. I had my other phone, so a lot of the information is in the other phone. But if anybody's interested in us doing a part two, we can get it like really going. Get as deep as we can in here. Um, let's see. So I'm going to get into now that we kind of got the little bit of the understanding of the cube, and that we're stuck in a little bit, in a little, a little understanding that we're stuck in this reality.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
want to get, and if anybody wants to do the legwork, I don't like spiritually lazy people. I'm not gonna give you all the answers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure you can relate because people they gotta do this work. They gotta go out there and get it to it. Nothing just comes just for free. I can give you the information, but you gotta go and seek the information. So, if anybody wants to look up the ancient Hebrew version of it, they call it Kissel and Kima. If you're trying to correct what it says in the Bible or whatever, we got people like that. But I really want to get into the first key of getting out, which is your seventh chakra.
Okay.
Okay, so where is the seventh chakra? Which is your crown chakra. So
That's the indigo, right?
yep, that's the Blu-ray, and that deals with the Blu-ray beings, which these Pleiadians, their higher selves, are. I mean, because there's disagreeable, agreeable amongst the stars. There's, you can't count them all bad. Can't count one bad apple as they all are bad.
Hmm.
So, you know, they need to ascend like us, and then I'm going to get into us and how we need to work on our ninth chakra, because everything is a sequence. You're at the 127 in the Gauss system in the DNA. We got the 777 that all adds up for Enoch and what happened with him and how he got taken up and he was transfigured into. My personal opinion, I feel that he was transfigured into artificial intelligence and given access to the cubes of the matrix and to hold this reality sacred. That was his sacred cube or his sacred task within that system that he was going into. So your seventh chakra for our Pleiadian, and if you're Orion, if you feel that you got a connection to Orion, you might want to work on your eighth chakra. but that's a whole nother video. This is strictly dealing with the Pleiadians and alluding to a little bit of ourselves so that we can get more in deep with, the melanated people.
Okay.
So the crown chakra is the seventh chakra, is at the top of the chakra ladder, which starts from the root chakra that grounds us on the earth and processes upward to Shishira, which connects us to the divine source of creation. Shishira is located at the crown of the head. This gift of the chakra is experiencing unity, selflessness, realization that everything is connected at the fundamental level. The energy of the chakra allows us to experience mystical oneness with everything and everything in nature. There is no intellectual knowing at this level of the chakra system, but there is serenity, deep peace about life. You have the sense of knowing that there is a deeper meaning of life, and there is the order that underlies all existence. The way of the crown chakra is the way of going beyond the limits of your own ego. It is the way of transcending the ego and knowing that all creation is and the all is interconnected at a fundamental level. At that level, some call the Akasha or 0 point field or the field. This is the fundamental level of connection. According to the tantric philosophy, the seventh chakra is both a receiver and giver of energy and consciousness. It gives back the personal energy to unite the collective pool of consciousness. It is the meeting pool between finite, the body, ego, and infinite, the universe, and soul. It wants to go to us. Because who got soul? So when you want to deal with soul beings, for my melanated brothers and sisters, what you need to do is go inside yourself and unlock your ninth chakra. This is important to essentially your waking up. This is your key. They have the key number 7. Enoch gave them their 7 keys. Now this is your ninth keys. As we know in Comedics or Egyptology or whatever they want to call it, Nubian, it was 9 dimensions and stuff like that. And I also can go into that a little bit later too, but I really want to get the information about the ninth chakra, because they have, the thing with the Pleiadians is they have taken over the New Age, and they put out this whole love and light thing, and they've shunned the black matter, dark matter beings, the gaseous beings, the Ethereum that existed before them. So they have everybody thinking everything is love and light, and that's all fine, but at the same time, darkness does exist, and we are the all. We're all encompassing light. Right. So they brought actually them and a few other species among among them. They are part of the fallen race too. So they came here and they also brought hatred towards the Earthlings, who were naturally melanated or green or blue, who were brought here from various points like Sirius, Lyra, and in Vega. So the ninth chakra people equate this chakra to the Christ consciousness or whatever, but that's their swing. Okay. The ninth chakra is an interesting chakra that it is in the chakra that all the Christ abilities lie dormant. Now, if you think Christ abilities, turning water into wine, transmutation, manifestation, healing, walking on water, that's us. Yeah, walking on water. So what I'm trying to tell you is activate your psychic abilities, because we're coming into an age where, if anybody's read the Illuminati handbook, it says that all religion will pretty much be obsolete, and the new religion or the new form of whatever would be man in his mind. So the moment that we do that, we're already in a fourth density. Density is the amount of information available in the light that is within that dimension. So we're already in the fourth density. Now we're trying to shift into fifth density and fifth dimension, which is going to be more mental. So the fifth dimension is mass consciousness. This is where people experience thoughts, telepathy, things like that. It's more, it's another realm, but it's still within the mental plane of the material world. It's just a different physicality. So we'll be experiencing more people with psychic abilities, and thus you're going to have to learn how to learn psychic etiquette, which I've been trying to spread around my page too as well. So these abilities, these Christ-like abilities, lie dormant, wanting to be released and used in the outer and inner worlds. They shift the focus of the time forward from this energy and accompany the abilities that go along with it. Hence, a great deal of work and energy is now being sent into the physical reality to help the individual open up and expand this energy center. The ninth chakra, like the others, have some hard specs, and we still have more to discuss. The ninth chakra sits above the head, about 4 feet. It's the first hardwired chakra that we're covering for so to speak, of the fluidic twins. The fluidic twins is the 10th chakra. The number of spokes that the ninth chakra possesses varieties like in the 8th chakra. It is exact number will depend upon how open you make this chakra. These spokes range from any number of 10,000 to 20,000. Each spoke is actually a filament or series of filaments. When the most of these filaments are wired properly and the chakra begins to open, this chakra emits a radiant energy that looks like a spinning rainbow. Depending on the skill of the person that is presently pulling this skill storehouse for use in the outer world, you will determine the prenodate color emanating from this chakra, the prominent color that you choose to emanate from this chakra. So assigning a particular color to this chakra tends to be meaningless, but if you guess by now, chakra holds a karmic blueprint on the individual. It's a stored set of skills and abilities learned in all lifetimes. This chakra holds the key to the soul's destiny. You see, the evolving human soul can be broken down into 3 main types of blueprints: the creator, the healer, the teacher, or if you want to be even more technical, 4, the student. Let's see. The prominent category will determine whether the soul is head for the human condition is complete. It also will determine that the slant of the lifetimes lives for the individual and the skills that are stored in the ninth chakra. For example, the healer blueprint will be different than the blueprint of the creator. The healer blueprint will have far more or less lifetime spent in some kind of healing capacity and skills stored there with the reflective area and expertise. Whereas the creator, the blueprint will have far more lifetime spent in the creation of things like artwork, carpentry, etc. Realizing that this chakra could be one of the 3 main types that can come handy. So avoid that you being trapped in thinking that this chakra is not functioning, because it is an energy output variable, that there are subtle energy differences within each. It is very important as the individual begins to awaken spiritually, and the higher chakra is open. Many of the past lessons and skills from other lifetimes must be merged into the kind of synthesis and cemented together for the lessons of the human and the spiritual that the soul has endured. The soul then learns the true meaning of what is being accomplished from the entire human experience, and that finally presents spiritual wisdom. That present of spiritual wisdom that is locked within you sets in. All is well and good with this chakra as long as these past lessons stored there are completed properly. However, what occasionally occurs is that these 2 of these 3 lessons are not properly learned or put into perspective, and then corresponding hardwired connection, and the chakra is not complete. When the person goes to access this particular needed knowledge, it is either being retrieved incompletely or not at all. The person cannot tie together the lessons from these experiences. Without a proper bond between all influences, the individual will be held back from ascending. Healing in this chakra may be necessary to properly wire up the various aspects of the individual to free this person from the limitations of this realm imposed on this incorrect writing within chakra, wiring in the chakra. Once the filament in this wire is once the filament is wired properly, the person will have access to this knowledge and can then progress on upward into free and easily manner. So my melanated beings unlock your ninth chakra. My non-melanated Pleiadian star seeds unlock your seventh chakra. My Orion star seeds unlock your eighth chakra. These are your keys. And what I want to talk about is, finally, I want to wrap it up as when I was talking about we are gatekeepers.
Because the Nuwapian Nation got some things about the gatekeepers that a few people is kind of like going in on lately. And I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, a little bit. I haven't really heard anything. To be honest, the only time I've ever heard anything about gatekeepers is in my own experience. Anytime I've like asked anybody about it, like I've met other gatekeepers or whatever and stuff like that. But I like as far as online or reading it anywhere, the only time I seen like something that related to gatekeepers was like the Book of the Dead. Like I really learned a lot of this stuff straight from the astral or straight from the source. I try to find a third dimensional basis so that people can relate to it, because the forms of communication in these other realms is a lot different than here. So in the fifth dimension and other dimensions, you know, you can pass information on by handshake, or if you want to receive some information, they'll shake your hand, or they'll send an image through your third eye, and you'll see everything that they wanted to say. So we have to learn how to, the third eye, the serpent that comes from your kundalini bursts out of your pineal gland and lands right here. And the fact, and we were called Jedi because we had the ability to uncoil the serpents, the 2 strands of DNA within us, because us as melanated people, we have 12 strands of DNA. So we were unable to uncoil those strands of DNA and access our hyper senses, our hyper abilities, and thus we were able to perceive through the veil of all reality. So when you get to the Masons are the keepers of the cube of Earth, because there's more than one cube. As I said, there's 13 circles, it's like 20-something cubes, it's cubes within cubes within cubes, because they have to keep this false reality intact, or certain aspects of this false reality intact, because our Earth fell from a higher dimension, actually fell from the 9th dimension in a battle. So that battle is often depicted in the Bible as between Satan and God, or he took 1/3 of the angels with them, or something like that. So 1/3 of 9 is what? 3. So when you take a 1/3 of heaven, you're taking 1/3 of a space, which has magnetic pull, which has electromagnetic things going on, which is in a position. So if that place we abode and falls, that's essentially an entire dimension collapsing.
Repeat that one more time, because it kind of went out. It went out for a
second. Yeah, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go into this to the nine dimension.
Okay.
That I was talking about. Let me see if I can find it. Where is that?
Got somebody called Lashoni Darche. Said, "That's my king. Preach, baby."
So, I'm gonna just freestyle because I can't really pull it up right now, because a lot of the information, the extra information, the details was in this phone that I'm using to record on. So hopefully everybody wants part 2 so I can get a little bit more into it. But so essentially in the biblical text, in the fight between God and Satan, Satan left and took 1/3 of heaven. So if we as originally existed in the 9th dimension, or the 9th etheric plane, when essentially this war happened, right? These universes, or these dimensions, they all equate up to each other. You know, it's dimensions go like this, densities go like this, because densities are the amount of light available or information available in that dimension. So when in actuality, it's taken from an older story. The older story is Anu and Alalu's fight. So Alalu left heaven or left his heavenly abode and took one third of the dimensions with him. So when he took one third of the dimensions with him, then everything fell. So thus Earth fell into the third dimension.
Hmm. One through
Because,
the
because
dimensions, that's a big chunk of existence.
exactly. And when people forget that these higher interdimensional beings, when they talk about Anu or Alalu, you're not talking about a just a being.
Mhm.
You're talking about a whole entire realm. When they talk about these beings, they're talking about these beings as being embodied realms.
Hmm.
If anybody has seen, and they code a lot of this shit in movies, like if anybody's seen Guardians of the Galaxy, when what is it, Star Lord went to go see his father, Ego was a planet, and a planet that self manifested itself a body, and thus he was able to travel to Earth to make a kid.
Mm.
So
That sounds.
they hide all this stuff. Huh?
That's it. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I mean, I got some stories, but I don't want to go too deep. I want to just have the information. So, and so essentially, when these two embodied dimensions or whatever decided one part got kicked out of his abode and he had to come to Earth, or it actually is like over time, everything just fell. This didn't happen all at one big bang. This happened over eons of a war.
Hmm.
Got
Oh, oh, Lord have mercy. I think it's on his side because my internet is good. My internet is good. I think it might be on his side. So I gotta check mine too in case. Um, I gotta just get a checkup because man, I moved to a different part of the house. I remember last time it went out, so I moved to a different part of the house where it's stronger.
sorry, one phone died.
Oh,
There's always something going on.
all right.
All right, let me turn you up. So yeah, essentially it fell from the ninth dimension. So if you think about the 93rd plane, then you're dealing with what? Dark matter. So what was existing in that non-existent place? This was chaos. So when case got it fell, they had to embody it, they had to trap it, so they had to use cubes. In ancient Sumerian, they always talked about taking one being. It's like this the Epic of Kingu. They said that Kingu was slaughtered and used to create a specific race. Or Tiamat. Tiamat was killed by Marduk or Enki or whoever, and they used the insides of her to create Earth and this
Yep,
dimension. So it's
yep.
essentially it's the same story playing over and over again. So
Okay.
we got to unlock our ninth chakra, unlock the ancestral knowledge, access our Akashic records, take back what is ours, and essentially we as a people will be able to unite in the sin because the mental processes that one self has to go to will bring his self to his self. And we are all extensions of the all, and we are all extensions of ourselves. So that's what I want to leave with, and hopefully we can do a part two and get a little bit more in depth. Sorry for the complications and stuff, and I thank you for having me on, man.
No, no,
Hopefully, people get the information from this.
yeah, no problem. But one thing I like to ask you before I go, right? Um, it's
Mm-hmm.
I the people that pass on that left their body. Let's say I have somebody that left her body, end up it was terrible. About 25 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
saying that everything is a hologram, it's projected and everything. What, in your view? in your knowledge,
Hmm.
what chance do I have of seeing a person that left that ended up, she was shot, she was murdered in a suicide. This was my love, and I planned
Hmm.
on being with this girl named Dawn Anderson. Everybody heard it a lot. Everybody who keeps up with me heard me mention her a lot. What chance
Hmm.
in this particular realm that you're speaking on would I have of seeing her again?
So what you're asking is you want to access her. So if you want to access somebody who was past, often depending on their awareness when they were alive, but residually they usually dwell in the fourth dimension. So the fourth dimension lies within our dimension. That's the tesseract. So you see, you have the cube within the cube. So the fourth dimension, they all come at a point into a cone where you meet at. So essentially, accessing the fourth dimension is the ancestral plane. So thus, when you want to find somebody, you have to go into that dimension and you need to contact that person. Now, if you want to go on your own, then you have to find out the different gates to go to get there yourself. And or if you have this assistance of a shaman can guide you to that particular world.
Because
But there's not a chance of that person being able to of you being able to get that person to present themselves to you through different ways. But ultimately, you want to be able to work on all the root chakra to the ninth chakra. That way, you are able to perceive that person and make sure you're not being deceived as well.
yeah, 'cause I'm dealing with someone right now. She's a beautiful young lady, and as far as I can see, she's a medium because she explained she she um she described the girl to me like out of clear blue
Hmm.
sky, and like she's described it to me. So I'm working with her, and I told myself I am not, as long as I exist and I am conscious, I'm going to see this girl again. Some kind of way.
Well, I would say you what you could do is get a crystal, right, and you program it to go see her.
Hmm, hmm,
So essentially, if you have anything of hers, or even if you have strong enough memories that you can draw in your mind, because when you're with a lot of the stuff that I'm teaching about psychic defense is a lot of things called thought forms, because the mental plane is still etheric plane and it's still one step just within ours. So you have to pull and solidify the images in your head. And when you get a crystal, you want to take that energy and put it into that crystal
all right.
and you want to say to yourself that I want to see you again. That death is an illusion. That all this is an illusion. So there should no. And energy is residual, and it always shall exist. Nor can it be destroyed. Thus, it can only be transmuted. So you have to do that. And also, there's always setting the atmosphere, cleansing your home, and leaving out something that that person would like or that spirit would like. Now, if they don't present themselves, right, they're not in the fourth. So you're going to have to go deeper. So something about this to me, from what you're telling me, is going to be a personal journey to find this person. And in finding this person, you will find yourself.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna find it. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So you go ahead, close out. You know what you're gonna do. You have to do a part two
Oh,
on this, but when when I have my
let me
right
tell you,
place.
I, I really wanted to get into, I forgot one part about the gatekeepers.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, we are gatekeepers. Gatekeepers. A person that assists a variety of souls or people, hybrid star seeds through the ascension portal, the doorway. Gatekeepers help build their light and help others build their light bodies. Gatekeepers' mission will be triggered by internal codes within their DNA and within themselves. Gatekeepers are the creator force. They are the ones that help create this material world and non-material world. And that's why we are here, and that's why we're incarnated. And that's why, you have beings like me coming here from the 12th dimension. You have other beings from other dimensions, other ancient incarnated beings. And we're here and we're trying to bring out this information. And we want you to unlock who you are so that we can recognize who we are so we all can ascend. Because we're all placed here essentially for the planet to vibrate higher. There's so many weird paranormal and different people and things going on. That's because the vibration of the earth is a lot higher. And anybody that has studied paranormal, they know where there's a lot of electromagnetic activity. There's a lot of psychic activity, and there's a lot of paranormal activity. So essentially, we're going to be experiencing a lot more things as we go into the mental age, or the mental religion that the Illuminati or whoever wants us to go into. Because the moment that religion is obsolete and everyone is using their minds, instantly we will shift into a higher density. Thus, higher forms of communication. Thus, your battle. It is a true and tried statement when it says the battlefield will be in your mind. So, master yourselves. This is the Master Key, and I want to thank everybody, and hopefully everybody got my encoded message in this thing, because everything was just encoded. So there's one. Let me see. It was one more part that I want to end with that was really important, but it's not letting me. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I won't go too much further into it. So thank you guys. I'm Master Key. This is my bro. Thank you for having me on. Please, everybody, ask for part 2, because what I got in part 2 is a lot more in depth. So we just, we got to breadcrumb you into, what is it? Breadcrumb you till you can get, to the big apples, to the big tree. So we want to get everybody, work on those chakras and then come back for more. And we got a lot more. There's just layers and layers. As I was going into the cube, I started having revelations in myself, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's so much information. So I just condensed it down into this form. So those who have eyes to hear, and having the eye to see and the ears to hear, there we go.
All right. I guess that does it. So part 2, I'm looking forward to part 2. We're going to get this thing on, get this information out there, and get some consciousness raised.
Yes, raise the vibration, man.
Cause I got questions I got questions till tomorrow morning, man. But we got to end this sometime.
Well, if you got any questions, hit me in my inbox. I will answer the questions. Like I said, this was just a little bit of a taste of it. We want to see if they want more. I know you're on that frequency. I know you're interested. So we got to see if the people understand. And if they understand, then we can go deeper and deeper until we leave the matrix.
Right.
Because I've got the keys. I don't call myself Master Key for nothing.
All right. All right. I'll catch you next time, man.
All right, no problem, my brother. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. There you have it, folks. Master Keys. Said he got a lot more information. You heard some of he said he is down with Dr. York, and you heard a lot of Nuwapian teachings up in there, a lot. But he said that's just a little bit. So it's some other stuff that he was showing me and telling me, a lot of stuff that I only hear like Phil Valentine talk about. Like I said, young Pharaoh probably touched on some things, but we're gonna let him come in here later on, part 2, and do his thing, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. We'll want him back, and I hope to get my brother Kashif Vikers on in the upcoming days, and he's going to explain cryptocurrency to us. And I want to get I got to get back with Brother Polite, because he owed me, Brother Polite. I got to get you on here. And but until next time, This is Brother Sakim. I'm going to play a little bit of this music before I roll out of here. This is that music from New Age type. I love the New Age music, the meditative music. If more of our people listen to more music like this, you wouldn't have the young boys running around calling girls bitches and hoes and selling drugs and everything on the corner. Music does a lot. And that's another thing I want to talk to him about. Music has a big influence on all of us, so I'm going to get ready to pull up out of here. Unfortunately, I got to get up and go to the plantation tomorrow, and I'm 3 days. Work 3 days. But I'm getting ready to get out of there. And once I do, it's on. This is Brother Sakim signing out. Until next time, peace.